What's up, guys? Welcome to our first video where Johan here does a psychopathic squat workout.
Fuck!
So at this point, Johan's just
Is that gonna explode?
No. At this point, Johan's just warming up. He's using a band to create constant tension in basically his posterior chain.
Yeah.
Which is your hamstrings, glutes, and your back.
Alright. And from here, we'll be doing, just try and activate the glutes a bit, because I feel like that does help. So just bend the knees a bit, and then move out, keeping squeezing the glutes, just keeping tension on the glutes, and we're just moving laterally. Then, that's another good one I normally like to do. Get in a squat position, just hold the weight there, just for counterbalance. And then you just go over on the one knee, and then the other.
Yeah, so a couple of pointers as he's doing this, I'll just show to you. So make sure your knees are tracking over your toes, not on the inside of your toes, rather on the outside than on the inside, but try and in line with your toes. This is a very good mobility drill, pretty much pre any squat.
And then you can come up a little, just come up a bit, squeeze the glute, and then hold it there for a few seconds. That just activates the glutes as well. See me shaking already.
200 squats are going to be fun. Yeah, so that activation in the glutes is a very good thing for when you back squat, especially. What people tend to do is they only activate their glutes at the top. So when they get through the sticking point, they're basically just using their quads, where that helps you activate the glutes in that specific position.
It helps with the power coming when you're in the bottom, and you're struggling for the power. Your glutes is such a big muscle to actually just help you stand up.
There you go.
All right.
All the knowledge bombs.
Boom.
Boom.
I just like to do a few good mornings as well. Same as with the banded. Just get my seat out.
Get your seat out. Pull up a chair.
The fuck is inside?
It's the wood that stops it from caving in.
My
But-
badass.
Well, it's still bending. So as you can see, as he warms up, he's not necessarily fully extending every time. And that's basically just to keep the tension in his legs. Am I right?
Yeah.
I'm right.
It's the same as when normally at the end of my squat sessions, I do a few sets of reps till failure, but I don't extend fully. I just keep that tension on the legs, and that creates a massive pump on the legs. So just to walk out of the gym feeling satisfied.
Feeling massive.
Feeling massive.
Do you have a set reps you do when you warm up, or do you just warm up till you, as in with this weight?
Yeah, no, I don't have a set number of reps. It normally depends what my final set is going to be. Depends how many reps I do on my warm up. If I go for a 1 rep max, I probably won't do. I might do a bit more reps with these lower weights, and then when I start going up, I just drop the reps. But if I'm looking to do a 10 rep max, I'd rather keep a 10 rep. I'd rather hit between 6 to 10 reps with all my sets up until the 10 rep max, because it creates that endurance in the legs then.
Right, so you did this set, you did different from the other two. You did a pause and you were more explosive on the rise.
So normally leading up to my final set, I like to do 3 different things. So I like to do my explosiveness. I like to do some tempo work, so as in a bit of a pause, but just lower the reps. And then I like to do one where I just do quite a bit of reps, like 10-12 reps. So the key is to try and work in all 3 of those, especially the tempo work. The heavier the reps, the heavier the reps, the heavier the weight is, the better, the more that tempo work comes into play, because you need to lower it down. You need to, instead of just going down as quick as you can and coming back up, that weight is going to throw you off balance. So you do need to actually control the weight down, and then try and push it up. So have explosive power to push it up as quickly as possible. So doing all 3 of those things I feel is quite beneficial, especially if you're going to go, even if you're just going to do a 1 rep max, or if you're going to go for a 10 rep max, it's beneficial.
We'll do it tonight, yeah. From the back to the left to the right, yeah. All them girls looking hot, looking tight, yeah. Come on and move from the wall to the light, yeah. I don't know, maybe you didn't hurt me. Gonna lose it tonight, yeah, no mercy. We're gonna turn it up crazy. We're gonna turn it up, Let me see your hand, let me see your hands. Let me see your hand, let me see your hands. Let me see your hand, let me see your hands. Let me see your hand, let me see your hands. Let me see your hands, let me see your hands. Let me see your hands, let me see your hands. Let me see your hands, let me see your hands. Wave them around like you dance no care. Popping bottles, you know how we do it. We go crazy, yup, we lose it. Feel the bass, feel the bass, feel the bass hit. Ain't gonna stop, that's for sure, no we won't quit. All my fellas in the club.
Okay, you're on your own for a minute.
All my ladies over there, let me hear you scream and shout. Now let me see you wave your hands. Let me see 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 your hands.
We're only a few sets in and I'm already fucking regretting this.
Let me see your hands. 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 Wave them around like you just don't care. Let me see your body move.
I'm trying to keep it at 20 reps per set, which means it'll only be 10 sets. But, well, we'll see if that holds.
And let me see your body groove. And we will do it all night long. Dance together to this song. We're gonna do this like a pro. We're gonna do it, that's for sure. Take it to the top and we will never stop. No, you will never see us stop. Let me see your hands, let me see your hands. Let me see your hands, let me see your hands. Let me see your hands, let me see your hands. Wave them around like you dance.
As you can see, I'm doing high bar compared to low bar squat, because I prefer doing high bar squat. Allows me to get in those positions for Olympic lifting as well, and I feel like it works the quads a lot better. Well, it does. It works the quads a lot better than a low bar squat would.
Let me see your hands, let me see your hands. Let me see your hands, let me see your hands. Let me see your hands, let me see your hands. Wave them around like you dance don't care.
Alright, halfway. 100 still to go. Oh, just take the pressure off my feet.
Like you just don't care. Let me see your hands, let me see your hands. Let me see your hands, let me see your hands. Let me see your hands, let me see your hands. Wave them around like you just don't care.
Just 10 left. Come on. Awesome. I'd say.
And then he says he doesn't do cardio.
I'd say it's probably more my lower back than legs.
Oh yeah, like, can you imagine that?
Oh, what does this leg pump look like now? Whew. Okay,
Right.
oh.
So what was the worst part?
I'd say doing, because I did sets of 20 and then broke it down to sets of 15. I think doing the sets of 20, that was a difficult one. That I feel like I did what I do. I did sets of 20 for the first 100, and I felt that was that last sets of 20. I was feeling that, feeling that leg pump. Yeah, it was fun. He kept me smiling. But like I was saying, I think we might make a separate episode for this. But I think same for you. We prefer the high bar squat to the low bar squat, just because we can implement it into things like Olympic lifting, and you can get it activates the quads more. Whereas a low bar squat, powerlifters normally use that. They can load the bar up a lot more because their center of gravity is lower, but then you use more the same muscles that you use for a deadlift. That's why they're so strong. Whereas we, especially me myself, I like to use a high bar squat. I just feel like that's just my preferred method of squatting. But we might do a separate episode looking at the muscles that gets used for that.
Yeah, so we'll do another video about the difference between high bar and low bar squat. Basically, the quick gist of it is high bar squat translates better into Olympic lifts because you're in a more upright position, and it uses all of your leg muscles rather than favoring one, quads or glutes. It does tend to favor the quads if you're that way inclined, but that's mostly because people tend to not activate their glutes. Yeah. The squat itself should activate both at relatively the same anyway. And the low bar squat it does favor your glutes more, your posterior chain, which is why they do that, because it also strengthens the deadlift a lot more. And it doesn't translate into Olympic lifting. That's the gist of it. We'll do a whole video about that at some point.
I think because the aim of this was to break it down in as little sets as possible, and to do it as quick as possible, so minimal breaks and also minimal sets. So I think if you were to break it down into, let's say, doing it in 5s or doing it in sets of 10, I mean, it would have been a lot easier. But
then that would also defy the point of doing.
Yeah. So for this way, I mean, it's endurance training on the legs, but also it's to give your legs that it's to rush the blood into the legs, give it that massive pump as well. And the way you do it is by increased reps and just minimize the rest as well.
How long did you rest in between the sets?
I don't even know.
Did you just rest until you felt ready, or
I did the squat, then I wrote my number on the board, had a sip of water, and then straight back on. So 20-30
seconds, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, it might have been a little bit longer towards the end, but I think it was still minimal rest, because fuck, it was a hangout. I mean, oh.
You're gonna feel that tomorrow.
Oh, I'm gonna definitely feel that tomorrow.
Right, so just post Johan's insane workout and a couple of quick easy steps to really improve your squat.
A couple of the big things for me that helps me with my squat is when you load into the bar, you try and bend the bar across your back. So that means you're basically, so if you look at your back, your back is in a stable, tense position. You do that, and then basically I like to look up and keep my head up when I squat down and up. It just, for me, like psychologically, it helps me to want to come straight back up. And also, I put the bar on my back and I take a big breath in, and then that pushes
your belly. So you're using your belly as a stabilizer. No. So everything presses out and compresses everything, all the muscles, all the organs. It's like pumping up a tire in a car.
No.
The flatter it is, the softer it's gonna be. It's gonna be a nice ride, I guess, but it's not gonna be as firm and as strong. And the more air is in it, the tighter and stronger it's gonna be. can you just face that way and do the squat where as you squat? One thing I want to point out as well is as he looks up, what that also does is it curves his spine a little bit, which creates a bit more tension. It pushes into the bar rather than having the bar push you down, which also helps. So if you just squat down, see that curvature there? That's what you want. You want a natural curvature in your spine as much as possible. That is slightly over exaggerated, but you want to do that when there's weight on your back, just to protect your spine a little bit, because your spine, when there's weight on, will have a natural tendency to want to go forward. And that, looking up and curving your spine exaggeratedly, that helps you to push up against the bar and prevents your spine from bending forward, which you don't want.
Yeah, so well, what we've mentioned is that look up, bend the bar around your back, take a deep breath in, which is basically acts almost like a weight belt, your internal weight belt, and then working our way down, because you want to keep your glutes tensed. So the way you do it is so you keep your glutes tensed is you can put your feet, so when your feet's on the ground, you just twist your feet out by keeping that pressure on the ground. What that does, you'll feel your glutes is tensed and activated. So what that does is that's going to keep it in that position when you go down and up.
Yeah, so to explain that, he's basically screwing his feet in, trying to screw his feet into the ground on both outwards.
Screw? Is that the right word?
Yes, screw, like a screw.
Yeah, screw it, yeah.
Screw it, yeah. So yeah, that's basically what he's saying there. It's just screw your feet into, obviously don't let your feet move because you want them to be tight and set. And you want the weight to be balanced.
Yeah, so I like, because my squat position, my feet aren't straight forward, they're a little bit pointed outwards. So what I like to do is I like to start like this with my feet pointed forward and then push them out. So they do move slightly, but you keep that pressure on the ground. And when you keep that pressure on the ground, that tenses your glutes.
Oh yeah, I can feel that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then that keeps that pressure on the glutes. So when you go down, your glutes are activated. So you're not just using your quads.
Which is what, like we said, with a high bar V, low bar, that's what you want. You want to be using both your quads and your glutes because you're just stronger then.
Yeah.
Right, cool.
Right.
I think that's it for the first one. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, if you learned anything, please smash the like button, subscribe, share it with your family and your friends, and hit the little bell notification to get notifications for when we upload.
And if you do this 200 challenge, let us know in the comments. Let us know your time, let us know your sets.
What was your?
Yeah. Yeah, so
7 million. I'll count it all. I'll have a look on the video. Right, so yeah, put it down in the comments below and smash the like.